You're watching Durango News, celebrating Southwest Colorado every day.
Millions watched as the Animas River turned orange from a Silverton mine spill earlier this month, but few saw the Animas recover. Was the massive media barrage more toxic to Durango's future than the spill itself? A Fort Lewis College program that helped students obtain degrees in science, technology, engineering, and math has received a 5-year, $1 million grant to keep the program going. And learn about the assistance programs available to businesses and employees who are negatively impacted by the mine spill. These stories and more on this edition of Durango TV News.
This program is brought to you by Advantage Dodge Ram Chrysler Jeep at 20th and Main in Farmington. Visit today for your best deal.
You're watching Durango TV News. I'm Ashley Dixon. Hundreds of rafters, kayakers, and tubers hit the Animas River on August 18th to celebrate the recovery and reopening of the Animas after 3 million gallons of toxic water was released from the Gold King mine near Silverton earlier this month. But the media coverage of the reopening celebration was a mere trickle compared to the flood of attention that news outlets focused on Durango in the days immediately following the spill. On August 5th, an Environmental Protection Agency team investigating the Gold King mine accidentally released water that had amassed behind a debris dam at the mine's entrance. The water was contaminated with heavy metals and mud impregnated with iron oxide, the element that actually turned the mixture orange. Though dramatic and scary, the amount of toxic water was relatively small compared with the amount of water flowing down the Animas River during the event. And the orange water disappeared within 3 to 4 days. By August 14th, the river was reopened for recreation, just a little over 8 days after the original spill. Mine spills into the Animas have occurred before, but the fact that the Environmental Protection Agency had precipitated the release, the vivid orange color, and the power of the internet soon turned Durango into the center ring of a media circus. CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox News, the New York Times, and media as far away as London and Australia focused their attention on Durango to cover the incident. Senators, congressmen, Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper, and EPA Chief Administrator Gina McCarthy visited the area to add their political weight to expedite cleanup efforts. But now that the Animas is cleared, along with an onslaught of national media attention, questions about the long-term impacts to Durango's economy remain. Durango Tourism Office Executive Director Bob Kunkel said visitors had a lot of questions during the first few days of the spill, but few left the area. Hotel owners reported few cancellations, and the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad reported sellout crowds. As media attention began to spread, Dado, the Chamber of Commerce, and Purgatory Resort reported a significant increase in out-of-town calls from concerned vacationers, but few cancellations. Dado published a fact sheet and contacted previous visitors to counteract the images of an orange Animas River on national television.
Well, again, it was kind of driven by that media lag. Again, we didn't want to get ahead of the story and be the alarmists in it, and yet you have a responsibility to tell people who are coming. So our first wave was sort of take care of those people that were here. And they would come into the Welcome Center, the Visitor Center, and say, oh, I heard the river's closed, what else can we do? And then wave 2, we started to put the word out once we knew that the national press had made it a national story. Then we sent word to about 62,000 of our tourists on our list and just said, here's what we know, you've probably heard, and told that story from there, yeah.
Durango Business Improvement Director Tim Walsworth said that a number of business owners downtown reported an early downturn in retail sales following the spill, and the rafting industry took a huge hit. Gina Piccoli with Coldwell Banker and John Wells with the Wells Group reported that a few out-of-town buyers withdrew pending offers on homes. But both Piccoli and Wells predicted that Durango's reputation as a desirable place to live will weather the media fallout. Impacts to agriculture haven't been quantified, and it's likely that the Durango community won't know what the national media coverage will do to Durango's reputation in the long run.
And certainly the national media picked up on it and kept showing it. You know, it's like a week and a half later, and our river was looking awesome and about to be reopened, but the national mantra was Orange River, toxic sludge, and beautiful Durango. So will that have an effect? I mean, time's going to tell. I don't know. You know, they say no press is bad press. I'm not so sure if that applies in this case. But what I do know is that our river is perfectly fine. Our river has survived incidents like this in the past. It has a lot of water flowing through it at all times. We had great late snows in the season and good early summer rains that kept that flow going really good. And so that stuff washed through pretty quickly. Lucky for us.
Kunkel said Dato will continue to market Durango's appeal as a destination that offers a dozen vacations in one to try to turn attention away from the spill.
So long term is just sort of debunking and telling the truth, you know, about here's where we are, here's what happened. You don't gloss it over, you tell that story, and now we've moved on and here's what we're doing. And the best thing we can do as locals is kind of, you turn up basic customer service. You do the same things that got us the great reputation that we've had for so many years. We're known to be friendly. People talk to people on Main Street. They like it here. The weather, the scenery, I mean, all those things, that's why we sell it as a dozen vacations in one destination. But we definitely have some brand damage, and we're going to have to pay attention to that and ramp that up as an insurance policy going into next summer. And between that and hopefully some short memories, we'll be, you know, right back to where we are.
Walsworth also noted that the mine spill isn't the first time that the Durango area has had to overcome an environmental disaster and the media attention it draws. The Missionary Ridge fire in 2002 impacted tourism that season, but the area's economy eventually rebounded.
So we'll lean on experience locally and from our friends and neighbors around the state. And I have no doubt that the messaging will come out that we're a great place and that river's fine, and there's hiking and there's Mesa Verde and there's the train and there's Purgatory, and all the things that there is to do around here will still exist and be hopefully attractive to our tourists.
The bottom line, it's too soon to tell if the media coverage will have a negative impact on Durango's economy going forward. But if there's a silver lining in the cloud of passing pollution on the Animas, it's that the national attention has been focused on an ongoing problem of contaminated mine drainage into the Animas watershed. For the short term, the EPA has completed construction on treatment ponds at the Gold King mine to remove heavy metals from the water before it hits the river. And long-term plans are being developed to continue to monitor water quality on the Animas. But the cleanup of mines in Silverton, it's apparent that a lot of community conversations will have to occur before a permanent solution can be found. Later in this broadcast, La Plata County Economic Development Alliance Executive Director Roger Zalneritis will update us on efforts to reimburse the community for its financial losses.